nearest neighbor classifiers with respect to rule-based classification. So the last topic in this particular module. Here, when I consider nearest neighbor classification or classifiers, before understanding what is this, for a given classification model, we have two types of learners. One is eager learner and the other one is lazy learner. So let us see what are these two. What is eager learner and what is lazy learner. So when I consider eager learner, in this particular learning of a given classification model, based on the training set, first we will create a generalized model. And then what we do is, given the test data, I will apply the test data into this particular model and try to classify it. So this is what is eager learner model, or this is how eager learner will look into the classification process. Example for this is your decision tree and rule-based classifiers. So decision tree and rule-based classifiers are considered to be as a eager learner. Now what is this lazy learner? The name itself indicates the one who are very lazy in performing the task. So since this is a lazy learner technique, here we are going to store the training set, but we are not going to construct a generalized model, because it takes time in constructing the generalized model, as we have seen in the initial classes of this particular module, right? So since it is lazy learner, it is not going to construct the generalized model. What it does is, when you give a test data or test set, among the training set which is stored, it is going to identify the similarity measure and then classify it. So it uses any of the similarity measure that we have studied earlier, and then based on that similarity measure and the records in the training set, it is going to identify the class. So no generalized model is constructed with respect to lazy learner. So where we can use this kind of lazy learner technique? So we can use this technique in those data set which has very much noise involved in it. So for a noisy data set, lazy learner technique will be very much useful. Example for this is KNN. So what is this KNN? It is nothing but K nearest neighbor. K nearest neighbor. So this is the algorithm which we are going to learn with respect to nearest neighbor classification. So what is this KNN? How does it work? We'll see. So K algorithm that we are going to use here is K nearest neighbor. It is a simple algorithm that stores all the available records and classify the new record based on the similarity measure. So K nearest algorithm stores all the available records. That is what we have seen in the lazy learner, right? So it stores the training record, and classification is based on the similarity measure. So that is what is your K nearest neighbor algorithm is going to perform. Now, and I am telling K nearest neighbor, K nearest neighbor. What is this K? Well, the K value K represents number of nearest neighbor that we are going to consider for the classification purpose. Number of nearest neighbor that we are going to consider for the classification purpose. So let us consider an example. Say consider we have several points present, among which a few are blue points which are scattered around and few are red points. All these points are scattered around. And now I'll take this blue points to be as class A and red points to be as class B. So what we have several points which out of which few are blue and few are red. This blue points we consider to be as class A, and red points we are going to consider it as class B. So now this is the training record for us, or the training set. Now I have a test set. Say I have one point, a star. Now star here I call it as a point, a new point or the test point. Now I have to classify this test point either that it belongs to class A or it belongs to class B. Either it belongs to class A or it belongs to class B. So for that, what we have to do is I'll be applying the k nearest neighbor. So now, as I told earlier, k is nothing but the number of nearest neighbor that I'm going to consider. Let k that I'm going to consider first, let it be 3. I'm going to consider k value to be as 3. Okay, which means I have to consider 3 nearest neighbor for the given test data. So what I do now is I am going to identify, I'm going to take a dissimilarity measure or a similarity measure, say consider it as a proximity measure. I'm going to consider, I will identify distance of each of these points from this particular point, the test point, which is a star here. So I'll calculate distance from this star to this point, this point, this point, this, and this point. Similarly, towards this side, I'll calculate distance of this point, these 3 points also. Now, I have calculated the distance. When you say distance, say let it be the 3 distance measures that we have learned earlier: Euclidean distance, Manhattan distance, and supremum distance. So for the k nearest neighbor classification, we will not consider supremum distance. We either go with Euclidean distance or we will go with Manhattan distance. As we know, among the 3 distance measure that we have studied earlier, Euclidean distance is the best one or the useful one, or which is most commonly used by everyone. So here also I'm going to apply Euclidean distance only. So we are using the Euclidean distance. I will identify the distance of this test data with respect to the training records that is present. So I'll come to know that among the points that I'm having here, these are the 3 points which is closer, right? These are the 3 points which is closer to me, the test data. Now what I'm going to do is, among these points, I can see that this is class A, this is class B, this again is class B. So among the 3 records that is covered, which is the majority class that I have? I have red as the majority class, correct? This is the majority class that I'm having. So what I do is I classify this test point to be as belonging to class B, because among the nearest neighbor that I have considered based on the value of k given to us, I can see that majority of them belongs to class B. Therefore, I'm going to consider it to be the new point belongs to class B. Hope this is understood, right? Now the question that comes to your mind is, how are you going to take this k value, correct? So that I'll tell little later. Now, say consider, after this classification, I'll take the k value to be more than this. Say let the k value that I'm going to take now is 6. So how I'm going to do, what I'm going to do now? Again, I have already calculated the distance of each of these points with respect to the star or the test point given to me. Among these distances, I have to identify the 6 points which are closer to this star. I have to identify 6 points which are closer to this particular test point or the star here. So say consider I identify, and this is the records which are closer to star. So there are 6 records, right? So now what you are going to do, as we did earlier, among the 6 records, I'm going to see which is the maximum class that I'm having, whose frequency is high, whether it is of class A or class B. As I can see here, class A, which is 4 in number, is the maximum one. Which means what? What is the conclusion that we can draw? The conclusion draw here is this star will now belongs to class A, because class A is more in number here, right? So the classification depends upon the value of k. So there is a problem here. What problem that occurs is how two problems that we have to consider or keep in mind. One is how do you identify the value of k? And what happens if the value of k is too large or too small if we consider it? So for that, you have to be careful. If it is a two class problem like this, there will be no confusion. So either you will have it as the class B or class A. For that, what we have to do is we have to consider, since in the two class problem, the problem that might occur is I may have only two records. I have to find two records. Say in this case, if I find only two records, these are the 2 points that is going to cover. That is one blue and one red. In such cases, which class you are going to assign? So in such case, you can randomly take any of the class. Either you take it as class A or class B. What is the problem that happens? Misclassification problem might occur. Okay, so with respect to value of k, if the k value is too small, the training record or the classification is susceptible for overfitting because of the noise that is present. If the k value is too large, the chances of misclassification might happen. The chances of misclassification happens. Why is it so? That is because when the value of k is too large, it is going to consider those points which is present far away also. But the algorithm tells it is nearest neighbor. When the value of k is large, it is going to consider those points which are very far from the test point. So that is the problem that might occur when you have value of k as to be large or small. So for this, in order to overcome this, what you can do is you can consider k to be equal to square root of n. What is the square root of n? Here n is nothing but number of records that you are having. N is nothing but number of records that you are having. Okay, so that is how you can overcome the problem or identifying the value of k. You can take value of k to be as square root of n. Fine. So now we'll see the characteristics of nearest neighbor classifiers. So what are the characteristics it has? It is a part of k nearest neighbor classification, or nearest neighbor classification is a part of instance based learning technique. That is, it uses specific training instance to make the predictions without the model. Lazy learners such as KNN does not require any model but are expensive. Why it is expensive? Because we need to identify the proximity. And KNN uses local model, whereas decision tree and rule-based classifier finds the global model. Nearest neighbor classifiers can produce arbitrarily shaped decision boundaries. So these are the certain characteristics of the nearest neighbor classification. Now let us take one example to identify how exactly the nearest neighbor works. Okay, for that, let us take one example. So here, consider this example. So example is like this. We have a factory which manufactures product, and here the classification of this product as whether it is good or bad is made based on the two properties, that is the acid durability of that particular product and the strength of the product. So using these two properties, we are going to make the classification of a particular product to be either good or as a bad. So now how am I going to make this classification? We have given a training set to us, and this training set given to us is prepared by the observation of the previous products that is manufactured. Let this be the training set given to us. So there are 4 types of products, and for type 1 product, if it's the acid durability is 7 and strength is 7, it is classified as bad. And acid durability is 7 and strength is 4, it is again classified to be as bad. Whereas the acid durability is less but the strength is more, you can see that the classification is good. So similarly here, now what you have to do is, for the new product, he has given the acid durability and strength value. That is, acid durability value is 3 and strength value is 7. So for this, now you have to calculate the type or the class for this particular product. So what you do here is, you consider the K value here. Here I am giving the K value to you. You consider it to be as less than or equal to 3. When I say less than or equal to 3, which means that you have to do the classification of this product when the value of K is 1, and when the value of K is 2, and when the value of K is 3. Okay, you understood the problem, I guess. So you have the product, we have been given with a product that is manufactured by a company. I have to classify this product whether it is good or bad based on these two properties, for which the training set is given here. Now, as we have studied about the nearest neighbor classification, what we have to first do is, we have to identify the distance of the new product with respect to the product or the records given in the training set. For that, what we are going to do, we are going to consider, as I told earlier, the one of the most commonly used decision metric, which is nothing but the Euclidean distance. So if you remember the formula for the here, what we are going to find is, we are going to find the distance of 3, 7, which is nothing but the acid durability and strength of the given new product, and then you are going to identify the classify it whether it is good or bad. Okay, so the Euclidean distance formula is this. Now let us try to find the Euclidean distance for each of the record with respect to the given point. So here I'm going to find the distance of P. I'm going to take these as points P1, P2, P3, P4, and the P for me is 3, 7, which is, so I have identified here the distance of this with respect to each of these values. You can see here for this distance it is having 4, and distance of P with respect to P2 is 5, and distance of P with respect to P3 is 3, and distance of P with respect to P4 is 3.5. So this is the distance that is identified using the Euclidean distance formula. Now I'll just summarize it. So this is the summary of the distances that I've got. Distance from P for each of this type is this. Now, as I have been asked to find the class for different values of K, with K as 1, K as 2, and K as 3, I'll start with K as 1. When K is 1, which means I have to consider only one nearest neighbor. Among these, which is the nearest one? So the nearest one is, these are the distance from the current point, right? So the nearest distance among this is 3, which means type 3. What is the class for type 3? Just look at here, good. The class is good. So since I've taken K is equals to 1, which means that the point P belongs to type 3. Point P is near to type 3, and hence it is classified as good. That is because type 3 is classified as good. Now I have to consider when K is equals to 2. When K is equals to 2 means what? I have to consider 2 nearest neighbor. Again, among the distances given to us, which are the two values, two records for which the distance is very less? It is type 3 and type 4, because this is 3 and 3.5. Now I will see what are the class assigned to type 3 and type 4. So check it in this particular training set. It is good. So there is no bad here, only good. So which means when K is equals to 2, my new product P, it belongs to either type 3 or type 4. Type 4, sorry, it is type 4 here. So which I can tell it as what? Classified as good. And now again, so what we can do, we can consider the next one, that is when K is equals to 2. 3, what happens when K is equals to 3? So when K is equals to 3 means I have to consider 3 nearest neighbor. So when I consider 3 nearest neighbor, which means 3 distance which are closer to P, which I can consider as type 3, type 4, and type 1. I check its classes. Type 1 is classified as bad. Type 3 and type 4 is classified as good. Correct? So type 4 is classified as good, and hence what I can do here is I can tell that the new product will be classified as good. Okay, so hope you have understood this. I have calculated it for k is equals to 1, calculated when k is equals to 2, and calculated when k is equals to 3. So for each of these different values of k, I'm going to get the new product to be classified as good only. So this is how you perform the nearest neighbor classification using KNN algorithm. KNN stands for K nearest neighbor, where K is nothing but the number of nearest neighbor that you have to consider. Generally, it will be given to us. If not, take it as square root of n. Also, remember that k value should be odd number. If not, ambiguity arises, in which case there is a chances of misclassification being taken place. So as much as possible, try to consider k value to be as an odd number. Generally it will be given, so no problem. If not, try to consider an odd number and solve. So this is about your nearest neighbor classification algorithm. Thank you, students. If you have any doubts or queries or for feedback, you can write back to me. Thank you.